Hello everyone and welcome back to the beautiful city of Jönköping where the Faceit Season 3 finale is underway at DreamHack Winter 2015. We're here on the analysis desk. We've already had a great couple of days and it's about to get greater. I'm your host Richard Lewis. I'm in the presence of greatness. On my immediate left it is Duncan Foreign-Shields, the world's leading CSGO expert.
Okay, yeah. Nice of you to say as much, Rich.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty decent too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we all know he's getting cuckolded in the package deal, don't we?
The thing is, I mean, they used to just call me an analyst, but then I saw, like, you know, they started adding all these like old players who weren't even good anymore. They were like, everyone's just an analyst. I was like, I better have a better term, expert. That's right. Anyone can analyze. To be an expert requires a level of arrogance, and these guys don't match up, quite frankly.
Well, according to our friend GB James on Twitter, actually, we don't even know what we're talking about. So
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is. Don't worry. Anyway, joining us, two people who aren't irrelevant. It is, of course, Vendetta from Room on Fire and everyone's new favourite analyst. You've got a way to go. Tell your expert, though. Yeah. It is Maniac on the end. So how are you boys doing?
Doing good. Excited for the matchup. Hoping to see a bit of a better showing from Luminosity today.
Well, they're in the same boat as Team Liquid. Couldn't be worse, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I cannot possibly think that what we saw from Luminosity yesterday is like everything they got to offer. There has to be something more, and it has to be now.
Yeah. The question is, have Luminosity gone full NA and really embraced their new culture?
We don't know.
Or will they stay true to their roots and go back to the old Luminosity, who are a very good team, a very accomplished team who knew what they were doing internationally?
Well, just to frame this game in a
NA burns immediately, right out.
I'm expecting this to be like in the pre-game interview, Fallen's just going to be like, we're going to try playing this game without an in-game leader right now.
Oh.
Like,
oof. Yeah, we've got this new coach. He used to be at Liquid. It's pretty good.
Maybe what they were doing, actually, maybe that's what happened. GB James actually was remotely coaching Luminosity. He told them, what we're going to do is, we're going to have everyone play the wrong positions to improve our versatility. That was his plan. Next time, they'll be incredible when that happens, you know.
So anyway, just to frame this game in a broader context, it was a game I didn't even think we would see. Not at the stage of the tournament. Anyway, because EnvyUs losing to NIP was a shock. Luminosity, you know, they had best-of-1 victories over Fnatic in the past, didn't even come close, didn't get a round on the board. Obviously you change lineups one day before an event, 2 days before an event. This is what happens. But now they're fighting for their tournament lives, both of them, and realistically both of these teams could arguably have had deep runs in the tournament. So, bit of a strange one.
The one it's really disappointing for is obviously Luminosity, because listen, they actually had a chance. I mean, coming in, Fnatic just changed the player, they took out their in-game leader. I actually feel like if the old Luminosity, the old lineup that they had 4 days ago, had come to this tournament, they would have had an upset chance. I don't know that they could have done it, because Fnatic did look very good, but they would have had a shot at it. The difference is, when you say like they're fighting for their lives now, I don't feel like EnvyUs is really fighting for their lives. It's a best of 3. It's very likely that the best team in the world is going to win this best of 3. So really, Luminosity have no one to blame but themselves, that they're now in a situation where they're playing the team who might win the tournament to even survive.
I mean, let's talk about EnvyUs for a second, though. I mean, it was a strange one. There was nothing flattering about the scoreline for NIP. In fact, I'd say there could have been a more dominant scoreline in favor of NIP. EnvyUs didn't look at the races yesterday. They were making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. What was wrong with them?
But EnvyUs have kind of always been slow starters. We've seen it in several tournaments where they've lost to opponents that we would think that they would, crush 16-5 with those type of numbers. Instead, we see a very sluggish EnvyUs who are nowhere near what they normally are, and then they come back day 2 and everything's back to normal. So I'm expecting that to happen today. I'm expecting Envy to more or less stomp Luminosity. As sad as it sounds, but that's kind of what I'm expecting from them.
Well, Maniac, obviously you know the guys from EnvyUs relatively well.
I think they might have a tendency, when they have a good result, then like not really be ready to fight for the next tournament. This is why sometimes they need to get like a little slap on the face and then wake up. We've been talking about ego. Obviously those guys have a huge ego, they are champions. So actually this result against NIP, losing against NIP, might be what they needed to like understand that it's time to play. We are not in a major anymore. We know you won a major, congratulations, but now it's another tournament with a lot of money on it, a lot of viewers and stuff. So play now. Stop being so happy that you won the major. It's time to play. So I think losing to NIP might be a good thing for us, for them. I mean, on the long run.
Well, we've got a map veto coming in, so Duncan, I'll throw it to you, and you can talk us through this one. Kind of not overly surprised by the bans here.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Luminosity obviously recently had been praising Dust 2. That's the map that they really didn't mind playing. They played against Cloud9 at the major. But you look here, EnvyUs' ban is an obvious one. It's always Overpass. What I'm interested to see here is will Luminosity gamble and go for something like Train here, because EnvyUs has shown some weakness on that map. So actually, apparently, Luminosity takes Mirage instead. That's actually not a bad decision, because obviously EnvyUs played Mirage yesterday, and it's a map that they're still a little bit shaky on. They only tend to play it against lower tier teams, and it's the famous map for Luminosity. The original lineup made their name on this one.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they veto Mirage both game yesterday, Luminosity?
They did. They were.
They
I was just saying, I made the point yesterday, not a bad idea, because they've been getting worse and worse results on there. They've had this steady decline, and now with this new lineup.
Yeah, and also it's a map that requires a lot of like routines as T, and it's a very strategical map, so I'm quite afraid for them against EnvyUs.
It seems like a very weird map to go into, especially, but I guess, you know, it's like Duncan said, this is where they made their mark initially, and if they're back to scratch,
also, because of what you saw from EnvyUs yesterday, you think that maybe if the two things lining up, like a good map Ultim for us, and EnvyUs looked a bit shaky. Cobble's an obvious pick from EnvyUs. They are fantastic on that map.
And it seems
whereas
like
Luminosity, it's just an okay one for them.
Yeah, and Luminosity, it seems like they are very aware of what happened yesterday. Obviously, Envy losing to NIP on Mirage, but also them instantly removing thesco instead of continuously embracing it, because they've just got shafted.
If we could get to map 3, which I'm not certain will happen yet, it would be a good one. This is the one where Luminosity, the old lineup, was able to beat Fnatic on it in the majors, so that was pretty nice. The problem is EnvyUs is fantastic on Inferno. So I actually do feel like at the moment, even if it goes 3 series, it's still very heavily favoring the EnvyUs guys. And it's not taken for granted that Luminosity will win Mirage. That could certainly go EnvyUs' way. Just because yesterday they got schooled, and it doesn't mean Luminosity is going to do that, especially because, as we said, we don't even know what Luminosity is going to turn up yet. They don't. They don't know what this lineup's identity is. They need to start winning rounds before they can do that, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be a tall order. I think the overall sentiment is that the veto probably does lean towards EnvyUs. The Mirage pick, I'm concerned about it. I'm not feeling it, actually. I don't think Luminosity have been good on that map for a while. I know obviously they've changed lineups now, so anything that you had on that map, when you change 2 players, it's gone.
Yeah, actually, I think regardless of what map you would have seen Luminosity pick, I think we would have had the same feeling, because they haven't prepared for anything at all.
That's why if I was them, unfortunately, on paper, I'd say gamble, go for Train, and hope that that's the weak spot for EnvyUs. They still don't like it. The problem is, though, you don't want to play Train when you've just got a brand new lineup together. People haven't played the T side ever so far. That might be even worse. It's probably better to go with a map you've at least played a bit, and at least 3 people know their spots and know roughly how to play it. So I think that's the rationale behind it. They were in a bad spot because of the fact, forget EnvyUs, just coming into the lineup, they've got a new lineup. So. They're in a situation where they can't get a good thing out of it. They can just try to make it not as bad as it could have been, I think.
Yeah. Well, the team they got to beat is, of course, EnvyUs, and we'll take a closer look at them now.
Wasn't expecting that. Bomb does get planted still. KennyS stuck in the site, finding more. That's brilliant, and KennyS again up close. Oh my goodness, KennyS! The no-scope on the 3rd. This guy's absolutely insane.
Gotta be a bit careful. And Flame's been, our Guardian rather, has been spotted. Edward is holding the line. NBK's there with the headshots. NBK is doing work. He's got 3 kills. Make that 4! Single-handedly doing the job. Na'Vi now, it's all on Zeus. He walks into Kenny, and it's going to be the 1v1 clutch situation. Can NBK pull off the ace and keep Envy on top, or will Zeus come through as the hero? No, it's not meant to be! NBK with the headshot. 5 kills. Catch somebody peek on Envy's side, and well, that's what happens when you go around the corner. Happy with one ding. Oh, and another one! Oh, and a 3rd! Happy! He could get another one here too, Dupree! Dupree is like sweating bullets! Happy's gonna get the quad kill in the ace! What is this?
Here they go, Apex is there, he's the peak at the puppet moment, he gets 4 of them! Oh my god, Apex with all 3 on the 5-7, and there's 1 more left, and he's gonna find a headshot where he's jumping in the air for Apex, but he is the Predator.
So there you go, some visual confirmation that EnvyUs still remain one of the most individually skilled lineups of all time in Counter-Strike. Why don't you tell us about them, Duncan?
Sure, I mean, I'll start on the right here. So we've got NBK, he's more the support player in this team, but an interesting piece to note about him, all the #1 French teams in history of CSGO who've been the best in the world, the only person who's been in all of them now is NBK, actually. It used to be Shox as well, but now it's NBK, and that's because he's changed his role around depending on what team he was in, so he can make the stars in his team, he can facilitate them being stars. To his left, Apex, the guy you saw from that crazy ace there in that Inferno game. I'd probably say, I don't know if he's the best in entry fragger, he's certainly up there. He's absolutely the most aggressive entry fragger now. He's a guy who no matter what will go in, and if he dies and doesn't get anything, he's still gonna run in the side. I think there's never hesitancy there. The guy in the middle, Happy, who we saw with those Deagle frags there, we all know he's like a very passive style of player, but the way his team's set up now in terms of the balance of aggressive players, I think that's why you still see him putting up the big numbers and still having a lot of success from the positions he plays. And he's more the in-game leader in terms of he just puts people in position and then they kind of have say over what they do at that point. To his left, Kenny S. We saw there, easy skins, apparently the only contribution they've ever made to high-level Counter-Strike was getting bodied in that clip there, but it's an excellent clip. He's the best AWPer in this team, certainly, one of the best in the world. Actually, interesting note from yesterday's match was Happy was doing that thing he does every now and then where he was trying to AWP rather than Kenny having the AWP, so I think most of us would rather see the AWP in Kenny's hands. He's come back to be one of the best players there. And then on the very left is Kiyashima, who, thanks to the arrival of Apex, isn't forced to be like the blind entry guy who's just going in and everything's on his shoulders. Now he kind of works with Apex, and supposedly it's like Apex has sort of a mini shot calling role within it, and then him and Kiyashima are like a two-man team to entry, and then Happy makes the other calls later on in the round. So that's the overall entry team. EnvyUs team, and obviously absolutely one of the most skilled teams in the world. Every role, you could make a case they're the most skilled at every role.
Now again, I'll bring you in at this point, Maniac, because I know you know these guys intimately, played against them, had many interesting experiences. What can you tell us about? Give us a bit of insight into who they are.
I want to point out to NBK, definitely, because I don't think many people realize how important he is in a team. First of all, he's pretty universal, versatile. He's a very good pistol player, very good rifler, can pick the AWP if needed, excellent clutcher, stays calm most of the time. He could lose his temper, but that's pretty rare. And also, as Duncan pointed, he does what the team needs him to do. And that's something not all player can say. And some things people need to realize that Happy can actually pull his amazing play because the players around him are enabling for perfect conditions. And NBK is the one who had to he had to accept different roles in order for Happy to shine, and he does it very well. So for me, NBK, there is one reason why he's in the most successful teams always. Maybe he's not the most shiny player, maybe you gotta have more fans for Kenny S because he's like brilliant with his AWP, but the work of NBK is tremendous. Definitely.
Yeah, he's the bedrock of the team. Who stands out for you, Vendetta, in that EnvyUs lineup?
Well, in just very recent memory, it's Happy, and that's mainly focusing on the game yesterday because Happy had a bit of a no-show. And it's like you pointed out, Happy has been pretty much the only guy who's been an in-game leader and putting up bigger numbers than anyone else on his team. And he's done it for several months, probably around a year now. And his quality to do that is just, it gives such a new dimension to this EnvyUs team that makes them so dangerous, and it allows us to play that free role that you were talking about, basically having, Happy play a really laid-back style where he's just on the other side of the map, kind of very gently delegating the four other guys to get into good positions and then just beast everything from there on out. The problem for me with Envy right now is that whenever Happy doesn't have a great game, I feel like the entire team falls somewhat flat. And that could be because they have a very skill-based style of playing the game. They're very reliant on out-aiming their opponents rather than outsmarting them. But I feel like Happy is, as much as MBK does pretty much a bit of everything to make Envy as strong as they are, Happy is the linchpin of that team.
So they got to play Luminosity and find themselves in a bit of a strange situation in the sense that they qualified for the event with a different team to the one who has come to the event. Here's how they did it.
They're going to be able to get the bomb plant, and Happy even waiting for the push in. Ballin gets the spray shot anyway. What?
What was that? Okay, well, one-on-one, but that, I don't even know what the hell that was.
So there you have it. That is Luminosity, and this is the new look Luminosity. Duncan, tell us about these players.
I can't believe they actually just showed a highlight of Bolts, the player they cut, killing the two new players when he's in game.
Yeah, I know, it's wild, isn't it?
Awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway, so starting on the right, we've got one of the new guys here, Taco. Yesterday looked like he was filled with mincemeat there, the way he was just getting destroyed. Hasn't won a round yet in this team so far. We're not quite sure what kind of role he's supposed to play here. Like, that's one of the things about not seeing much of the team is who's supposed to play the what role of the player they replaced before, or did they switch roles around? Maybe someone else in the team was like, right, I'm more comfortable doing this instead. We still don't know from them. So obviously he's the least well-known guy. He's the one that we're still trying to get some kind of sense for. We saw him a little bit in Gamers Academy. Then we're going over here, we've got coldzera here. He's the newer addition. Not so new now. They've played a whole bunch of lands with him, but he's the guy where when he was brought in, no one expected that he would become some kind of like big fragger or something, but he's been very consistent actually.
One of the MVPs at the last major.
His numbers have been very, very good, certainly. And then Fallen in the middle, someone who I still don't think, in terms of his AWPing, like he has good halves, but he still isn't like a dominant AWPer. It's more like he just uses it at the right time, and if he does, he can have a good impact on his team. Then FNX stays left. Someone who was a teammate of his since back in 2009, playing in Fire Gamers, and then going beyond that is a legendary player within the Brazilian scene, explosive rifler, but we still have to see in CSGO, if he plays at the top international level, will he ever be close to that? We don't know yet. On the very left, Fer, he's the guy where, I mean, he himself calls himself his in-game name, Fer God, so he understands he's a very good player. He's got a lot of players, believe it or not, Richard, who are good, got a lot of arrogance about them, got a lot of ego. I can't relate to that myself, so he's the guy who was the star of the team, maybe isn't so much now, but he's definitely required when you're playing a team with the caliber of EnvyUs to come with a big game if they're going to have a chance.
Yeah. So which players stand out for you on this team? I mean, I've already alluded to my pick of coldzera. I think since they brought him in the old lineup, it did give them this extra explosive dimension.
Well, I want to go for Fer, because even though those last weeks or maybe months he has slowed down a little bit, for a moment he was looked as one of the most uprising riffle player out there. And I think for Luminosity to pull this upset, they will need Fer to actually shine and have his full level. So if Fer and Cold can actually at the same time pop up, that might be what Luminosity needs to create an upset.
Richard, you know I love hard French accents. It's on my bio on dating websites. Every time that Maniac says riffle, I get a little bit hard, I can't lie.
I've stayed it. He keeps giving me a little wink every time you say it. Like he turns around and he goes, yes.
It's so suave.
He does love it. He loves the Gallic flair. Vendetta, who stands out for you, brother?
Yeah, I was about to say Fer, but I think Maniac kind of crossed that point pretty well. He covered that pretty well. The other one is the same as your pick, coldzera.
Yeah.
Because him coming into the team, he really did give them that deadly duo that so many of these top teams have. So now you have the combo of Fer and coldzera, and I think if you have those two going off in the same game, then it can pretty much upset anyone. The problem is they need to find the consistency to do that over the course of a best of 3 and not just a best of 1, which is what they've been doing up till this point.
As well as trying to fit in 2 new players and see what roles suit them. Yeah, so it's a bit of a nightmare situation for Luminosity to take a new lineup and then go into a best of 3 against the best team in the world.
Well, I mean, even more so because of the fact that they are the Luminosity team. They're the team that's based on strategies, preparation. The whole point of that sort of team is you can't just plug and play people into that lineup. Like, they're not going to know the spots, they're not going to know where the flashes are. So suddenly you are just playing a pug style, which is never what they were famous for. In fact, people even said one of the things they would do is, because they'd studied teams so much, it was almost like a Cloud9 thing. They could change the strategy within a match.
Yeah.
Well, again, you've got to have all the other parts set. You've got to have all of the fundamentals in place to do like high-level stuff like that, where you've got all these moving parts, and you're trying to juggle what you're doing. That's not going to work. And so you go against a team like EnvyUs, you're going to have to play a pug style, a skill-based game. If there's one team you don't want to do that against, it's EnvyUs. They want you to play that game. You're playing right into their hands, and they have better players. So it's going to be real tough here for the guys.
I mean, I mentioned this yesterday. It's worth repeating, for the broadcast. I travelled in with the Luminosity guys. I talked to Fallen. I've known him for a good few years. Great guy, and he was saying that we had no other choice. We had no other choice, but to change this team, it was like so hard, so difficult. But surely you just wait. You do this.
Couple of days?
Yeah, you just wait a couple of days. You do this tournament, whatever's going on in the team, however awkward it might be. Maybe you get that upset against Fnatic. Maybe you have a deep run. You get some nice prize money, and perhaps you even say to the players before, look, we know something's got to change.
Here's the thing, Richard. Here's the analogy. It's like when someone breaks up with their girlfriend on Christmas Day. It's like, that just makes it worse, Have a nice Christmas. You're not going to be with that girl later on anyway. Wait a few days, everything calms down. First of all, you get your presents as well. You might have a nice performance here. Then you break up with her a week later. Get with that hot new girl. Just keep her on the side until then. Yeah. That's my message. New Year. Exactly. That's my message to the guys in the Counter-Strike community.
Yeah, good.
Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, you're thinking long term.
Care about people's feelings.
Is important.
Your own.
But I mean, it drove you to frustration yesterday.
Yeah.
It just blew your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. The timing of these changes are, I think, questionable for the least. Because obviously Luminosity, it's maybe true that they might have reached like their limit with their old lineup. That is absolutely possible. But with DreamHack Winter coming and then the Pro League finals as well at the beginning of December, it's basically ruining their chances, switching two players. Because like Duncan said, Luminosity was looked up as a very tactical team, very methodical, strict. They were, for example, the best players for the superiority rounds, 5-on-4, 4-on-3. They would quite never lose it because they were so strict and had such a nice organization. Where is that organization now? They switched two players. It's almost like the core changed. So I'm not quite sure with that change, or at least the timing of the change.
Yeah, I don't think you can really say anything positive about the timing. I was just god-awful.
Right, well, look, I've been told we're going over to Parla on the stage in a moment, so that means it's prediction time, boys.
Parla will do like an okay interview, but not great. Oh, wait, the game. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Oh, you've been roasting him hard backstage as well. Anyway,
I can do what he does and what I do.
Predictions from you, Maniac, and then we'll work our way in.
I will go for a straight 2-0 for Envy.
Yeah, same 2-0 Envy.
Yeah. 2-0 Envy, great riffle play.
Yeah, it's all about the riffle.
Keep your eyes out for the riffle play.
Right. Anyway, guys, wonderful to get your thoughts, and we're now going to go over to Parla on the stage for the pre-match interview.
Kenny S and Zeus, captain, the new captain of LG, is that correct?
No, I'm not captain, I'm their coach.
Coach, apologies, yes, coach. Talking about that, have you had much time as a coach to kind of get involved in your role? Because you've only been around the guys for a short period of time now.
As a coach, I've been involved little time with LG. With Games Academy, it was pretty big. I've had good experiences with them. We live across from LG, so I know most of the things that they have to do. So it shouldn't be that hard now. We haven't practiced anything at all for this. It's a new lineup since we've had it for 2 days, but we're pretty confident we could do good.
Do you think the fact that you guys haven't been together for a very long period is a valid excuse for what happened yesterday?
Oh, for sure. Yesterday was rough, man. I mean, we didn't practice and we get put in a group with EnvyUs, Fnatic, and NIP. It can be hard as a first task, but for sure we had a game plan yesterday. We had pistols, we missed a smoke, we missed a flash on the first buy round, and it all went downhill from there. We hope not to make the same mistakes today.
All right then, and what do you think then about EnvyUs? What do you think your chances are against these guys?
I don't know. That's kind of a hard question right now. Later on, for sure, I'd say we'd have better chances. Not that we're going to lose. We can do good today. We can surprise them. They don't know anything about us yet.
All right, and then Kenny, what about you guys? Yesterday, again, very surprising result, I think, for many people with what happened with NiP. Thoughts on that, and then going into this match quickly?
Well, yesterday we lost for many reasons. We always struggled against IP, and we basically have two faces with that team. That face we showed yesterday is basically from a team for 4 teams. So today we have to show our second face, that one who proved that we are the best team in the world.
Well, there we go. Best of luck, guys. If you want to shake hands, head to your booth. Crowd, we have an amazing match in store. And how about we get this show on the road?
It's our first tournament together. We recently changed 2 players. They are not playing the high level yet. They are playing for Games Academy, but they need to play against the best teams in the world in order to get used to it.
We're gonna have to now play well and try to be focused every round in the match to like prove to everyone we have the talent to be first in the world, so we have to be the best.
Against EnvyUs, just try to do our best and see how it goes in this beginning.
We don't expect something else than first place.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a pretty big matchup here between Luminosity and Envy. And it's the best of 3 game as well. Semler, how ready are you?
Oh, I'm down, man. I'm always good for Envy. You know this, Anders. They're my favorite team in the world. Come on.
A little bit of bias there, a little bit of...
just a little.
National
baguette. You know, I need to get a baguette. That's the thing, man. I'm just going to show up for that, with that tomorrow when they make it through this match and the match that follows.
If you get a baguette, there's a good chance Thorin will smash it at some point.
Yeah, well, he'll not be allowed to touch it. That's all.
Can't touch your baguette?
You can't touch my baguette.
All right.
Come on, bro.
I don't know. I had a different vibe.
You know where my bread gets buttered?
All right, well, let's quickly move on from this weird track that we've started the match on, and instead we get to look at the lineups here, obviously been introduced by the panelists as well. Everybody seems to agree it's going to be 2-0 Envy. Sam, I'm not going to ask you, because you're all biased and everything. I can't really well ask myself. That's a bit weird as well. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a match that has some pretty strong favorites.
Yeah, you can't be sane and have watched CS before and not favor Envy in this match. That being said, Luminosity can still do some damage, and I think we're all still waiting to see what Taco and FNX are capable of now that they've been added to the roster. And here we go, already something that could potentially catch Envy off guard, although as I say that, Happy's ready and waiting. So he's not caught off guard by this. It comes down to whether Fair can hit the headshot, and he does. So there's the start for Luminosity.
And now that makes this A push so transparent as well. LG know exactly what's up. Fallen with 1-2. Fur with another headshot, and it's going to be down to Kenny alone. And he goes down. It's going to be FNX dropping him. What a fantastic way to start here. Luminosity 1-0, and they wrecked Envy in this pistol.
Yeah, that was perfect. They knew exactly what was coming. They all hit the headshots. That's the main thing, Anders. If you're hitting headshots, everything's easy. It's all good in the hood. I mean, Fair at the top of mid, he just removes Happy. There's no flank there from Happy, and then they're ready for the A push when it comes.
It's like that should be the game plan every day, shouldn't it?
A crazy thought, right? I mean, it's not like we say that all the time, right? Where if you're hitting shots, you can do whatever you want in this game. If you aren't, you're definitely going to be struggling, even with the best strats. And right now, I mean, it looks like Envy, usual strat for them, go for the force buy. Tech-9s, Kevlar, bit of nades on Apex. He's stuck with the Glock, so we'll see if he can pick up a Tech-9 from the fallen friend. Or just a straight gun, but it is going to be a very quick A push here.
Flashbang over the top there. It was a little bit too late, so Fallen wasn't flashed at all. Fur gonna go down, but Cold is there with one with a double as well. It's actually FNX picking up the 1 kill there. And look at this, they're fighting their way back into the round. Envy, classic style for them really. It's now 2 versus 2, and even though health is somewhat low here, and Taco's still doing quite well, see if they can find a way to do what they always do, Envy.
This is so sexy as well. They've stacked up. He has no idea. Taco, he's going to run right into that M4 that Happy's picked up. And now Cold, he's in a very deep, dark place because he's only got 12 HP. He's in a 1v2. His opponents are armed now. It's going to take like an act of God here to actually get this done. He's going to get that flash out there, but it's going to be completely ineffective. He'll face both players from Envy, and true Envy style, they come right back into it in the second round. It's unreal how many pistols they lose, Anders, only to come right back into the game.
And what's so interesting as well is that the initial sort of idea with this push was a little bit less powerful just because the flash they throw from middle that goes over into the A-bomb side, it didn't flash Fallen. So he had perfect opportunity to get a bunch of kills with that P90, and it still worked. Very, very easy idea. They get the mid control, Luminosity not contesting it. They want 3 people through underpass, and then they just charge into the A-bomb side. And it works. A lot of damage from further. Almost could have taken out Apex. Look at this though, almost all SMGs on the Envy side.
Yeah, they're looking to farm. And Luminosity, Their strategy is not to get into that kind of, all or nothing. Oh, this could be nice. Yep, great flash there from Taco. Pop flash onto Kyoshima. He never knows what's hit him. But Luminosity are clearly not wanting to get into that economy fight early on here versus Envy. They give up immediately. They don't go for the force buy. They're just going for a near hard eco, and they're still succeeding and doing some damage here. 2 kills so far. They could get a 3rd as well, but MBK is going to finally cut that short.
Some damage being dished out. I mean, I kind of like that from Luminosity. I think Apex only barely survived as well, so it could have been a lot more actually. They were kind of low on health, some of them, to the end there. So Envy turning the tables really quickly. I guess at this point, at least what we can say about all of Envy's opponents is that they must all see it coming. So the sort of the mental blow, it must be less by now. You kind of realize it's a pretty high chance it'll happen. So you can't really be like super shocked anymore.
This isn't a disaster. Like, this is all according to plan. Now we go for double eco because again, Luminosity, no Kevlar, no force from them, just pistols. Flash, nice headshot there by Fallen. Fallen already is looking pretty on point here, Anders. And fair with the D onto Happy.
Well, yeah, Fur is so good. I still feel like since Cold Zero joined, we haven't like seen Fur at the same rate. Speaking of Cold, also picking up a headshot on Kenny there, but MBK will be taking down Fur. But I just think Fur is a monstrous player, and we need to see more of him.
Yeah, he had his really hot streak when he first joined up with the roster. When the roster got going, it was Fur doing all the work, and then since Cold has joined up, he seems to have taken a bit of a back seat. So he can still come through every now and again, but he's definitely not the point man anymore for Luminosity. But let's see now. We're going to go into that big buy round that Luminosity have been saving for. I see the AWP has already come out for Fallen. No hesitation. Actually, it's not even for Fallen. It's for Cold. They're going for a double AWP right off the bat? Wow, okay. Wow. So they aren't wasting any time. Do you agree with this call?
Yeah, I think it could definitely work. I think it's a solid idea. I still worry about them having the double up if they're going to give too much mid control to Envy, and it looks like that's what they're doing right now. And Envy, look at how quick they're being. Fur hiding in the corner, gets the first shot, and he needs more. He's almost going to get MBK, but it might not be enough here. They're going to get a little bit of trouble here as Fallen goes down all alone on the bomb site. FNX picks up 1, 2, he drops the Kenny. It's going to be back in a 2 versus 2, and this is all Envy wanted. This is perfect. And now look at Apex already slowing them down. They've got Molotovs. They got another double HE as well, and the bomb has gone down. This is going to be such a hard retake for LG.
That was crucial by Apex as well. Now he's going to look to see if anybody tried double back, try to pull a fast one, because when he peeked into CT, he saw both CT players. Cold doubles up, takes out Kenny, looks for the wallbang, and now it's going to be that 1v1 versus Apex. Can Apex come through for his team, or will it be Cold, the man we were just talking about, winning the duel, and he gets it! Spray into a headshot, and Cold will be able to clutch it for Luminosity. But you're absolutely right, Anders. I don't think that the Luminosity were expecting that kind of all-out approach from Envy in this round. That was just fearless from the Frenchmen. They went charging onto that site, no hesitation.
And it's very fortunate that Fur picks up the one against the next one as well, because they have no warning that is happening. No one was even peeking middle from Luminosity. They only know once they're essentially in the connector heading to the A bomb site. It's so scary. A lot of speed, which is sort of also another hallmark of the terrorist side of Envy. That's what they do a lot of. This time, some mid-control from Luminosity, and even the peek into underpass here. Look how much they know already here, the Brazilian team, about what's happening on the Envy side. This is, every second that ticks now is devastating to the French lineup.
Yeah, they have to go quick. They're still setting up for this as well. And Fallen's close with the Swag 7. He's in they have 2 players, soon to be 3 players, within smoke radius. So when the smokes come in for Envy, they're going to be completely ineffective.
And look at Happy. He's actually about to be backstabbed in the middle as well. Close range here. Fallen goes down. Taco there with a follow-up. HE exploding. 1. Kyoshima burning to death. And Phoenix picking up 1 shot there onto MBK. He goes down. Kenny gonna be all alone. Happy also finally died in the middle. That was Cold Zero with the AWP and an easy round. And all of it made possible by the huge flank that came in through underpass. I mean, so we were talking about the headshots, and you're not wrong. If you're hitting all the headshots, you can make it work. But this is a great example of why Counter-Strike is also such a cool game. You don't have to kill anybody. If you just get into the right position, you win the round for your team.
Just information is key. Just like Apex peeking into CT last round, now or in the round before, the fact that they get those push, and this is what's so fun about Mirage as well, is there are always these options to push into Palace here in A site, to push into B apartments, push underpass. You know, you get that info as CT, and then you can really just set up to crush your opponents when they try and go barreling onto the side, as you just saw. Envy, they've just got a single AK right now on NBK, who's gone for the buy. He probably had just a little bit of money, so it's not a full YOLO buy from him. But single smoke, single flash. couple of Kevlars, and again, Envy just focusing on that A site. Although this time around, Happy's elected to change things up. Yeah. Peekaboo. Oh, he misses the shot, and he gets caught. Taco gonna get that kill.
Now the rest of the push, because they don't see anybody else over at the A-bomb or the B-bomb side. Sorry, they're gonna know. Nice shot from Fallen. Actually catches Apex midair. Didn't have head armor. Goes down really quick. Cold is here with the AWP, and they're gonna try and make the jump over, and it's not gonna be successful. Again, good round here from Luminosity, and you see the change here. In the first 4 rounds that they played, LG had pretty much little to no mid control at all. Now they've started doing it a lot more, and it limits what Envy can do, and it gives a lot more information to the Brazilian side, so I really love this.
Happy looking a little hesitant there. Saw a little bit of a shrug. That's not exactly what you want to be seeing from your game leader. Going into a bit of a crisis moment, because right now Envy are on the ropes. They're losing control of this game, and they're missing smokes as well. That's a key smoke. They might actually think that they can push into mid. The guys pushing into underpass, though, will spot that for Envy, so it's not going to be the end of the world. But there's a shot. Fallen really going for it, and he's not going to get it done. Apex instead will hunt him down. Fair in a bit of an interesting spot, though. Could get the drop on Apex, but Apex might check it.
A little bit nervous, it seemed like. There could have been an opportunity. Taco revealing that he's indeed really far pushed up here. So right now, Envy again with a lot of mid control. And look at me, FNX, he's alone in this bomb site. It's going to be so tricky, but he goes for a quick headshot on Happy. Turns around, Cold is there. They've got the crossfire set up. Cold picking up another kill. Envy, they're getting crushed right now. Cold going for the no-scope. What is going on? Envy, they need to push in here and clear out of this crossfire, and they're going to do just that. Kiyoshima and NBK picking up 1 kill each. And look at the health that's left on Luminosity. They've got next to nothing. Taco still picking up a kill, and now it's all on NBK alone and trapped on the stairwell. He's going to try and see if he can actually run his way through the smoke. He's got the bomb in 35 seconds, and this just might be possible, but look at oh no, the smoke clears, and that's almost a free kill there on NBK. What a round.
Incredibly frustrating for NBK, and just so crucial, the fact that FNX, yes, he gets the kill onto Happy to start, but then Cold lands his shot from jungle. That's the big one right there, because otherwise, FNX is a dead man. He's going to get wrapped on from connector so quickly if Cold goes down. Just the fact that Cold not only gets a single kill, but 2 of them, that's some masterful stuff right here. We're really seeing Luminosity go toe-to-toe individually with Envy right now. And so now, well, Envy, again, back to pistols, back to a quasi-buy. They've invested a bit to get some nades going. They want to go for another smoke execute, it looks like, but look at this. Again with the push. Really, Luminosity just not showing any respect. They're willing to go all over on the map to just find that info. And they're pushing into B apartments as well now. So they just want to confirm now at this point that it is going to be A.
Yeah, and I mean, Envy only have like pistols and not a lot else here, so it'd be a miracle if they could do too much. And actually, they are going to get a couple of kills to enter with, including picking up that AWP. Fur being very careful. He realizes Happy might be here, and the bomb is about to go down. This is a disastrous round right now for LG.
Yeah, Happy heard this. So now he knows that there's a man in mid. He's going to be able to get that backstab as well. He misses it, but he still gets the shot. Thought for a second there that that drop would have cost him. And now FNX and Cold, the last 2 alive here. Both of them stacked up in CT again, so we'll see if that mind game works, but it's a 2-on-4 retake situation. 2 rifles have been picked up for Envy, and this is the correct call. Back off. Now the question is whether Envy let them. Kenny's already waiting. He wants that op.
Well, they're going to try and hide CT spawn. This round got way out of control. A big misstep here for LG, and that's going to cost them so dearly. This is exactly how Envy beat almost all of their opponents. Nobody's going to die at the end. That was very close, but these few rounds, they're what get Envy right back on track.
Yeah, it's whether they can chain them now, Anders. If they can chain the rounds, Luminosity are going to be in a deep, dark hole. Really curious what the money is like, actually, for Luminosity. I mean, it must be all right, but these have been very close rounds, so I don't think that they can really afford to go big, but they have the double op again. This is really a statement from Luminosity. Yeah, there it is. It's an all or nothing kind of play from Luminosity. Double op or bust.
I mean, it's kind of what worked the first time, so I guess they're just going to try and see if they could get back to it. Cold holding here on catwalk into the B-bomb site, and it's a really good angle to be having as well, trying to see if he can control the middle from a little bit away, but he goes very low, and NBK going to take him down. Nice spray there, Taco. Instant headshot more or less on NBK, so a good refrag. And they've got a good setup here at the bomb site, but look at this, they're all being flanked through the center of the map, and Fur takes out 1, but now it's all down to him in the bomb site, trapped in the corner, and he's got no way out. Kenny actually drops him with a shot through the box as well. Taco going to be spraying and taking down Happy, and now it's a 2 versus 1 here. Kiyoshima alone.
This is looking so chaotic from Envy. So chaotic. We can talk a little bit about, well, now we can talk about it. Keo's dead. But what the hell is going on? Is Apex being told that there's a flash coming in onto that site? Because did you see that? He's turning away as if he's expecting a flash to go onto the site, and he keeps going back and forth, back and forth. He walks out into the open with nothing there to block him, and then after that, it just looks like they can't get their after plant down. Really awkward. Even when Envy changed it up, they do put some pressure onto short like that. That's good, because otherwise, you know, they just keep going for the same connector push. But the take on A just looked so awkward from Envy.
Yeah, and Happy almost jumping around that corner.
What the hell is that?
Very weird stuff. A bit of a strange match overall here. I mean, Envy doing some classic stuff, but I mean, right now, Luminosity is still coming out on top with a 6-4 scoreline, and the Envy economy is very low at the moment, so they kind of got to make this round count.
Well, at least they're waiting, Envy, this time. They're waiting for this push. Fair not willing to completely commit. Keo's might be hunting him, but there's 2 players up top, 3 soon enough. And while there is a bit of support coming in from Cold, but now let's see, can First stand up to it. He's gonna get the spray in, manages to trade 1-for-1. They still can't find him. He will get the kill, but then again, Fallen strikes right back. This is just so back and forth in mid right now. It's just tit for tat. And we're into a 3-on-3. Nice nade, but a bullet will do the trick as well. FNX takes out NBK, and Taco from short removes Kenny. This is a catastrophe for Envy. They lose everything.
And again, that mid control, they contest it, they lock it down every time they do that. Because what Envy want more than anything is to be able to get into the middle where they can play around ladder or maybe boost into window or go into connector. Once they get into those spots, then their setups are so quick, they're so fast to react. They know, and they have like that almost sort of instinctive hive mind-like team play going on where they know what the opening is. Nobody even has to call it. If someone dies, someone gets the right flashbang in, and then they're ready. And it's so fast that Luminosity won't be able to handle it. Now we've got an auto shotgun taking down Happy, and well, a bit of a reply from MBK though. But I think this mid-control idea is really important for Luminosity.
MBK would just love to get in there and get that AK, but he doesn't want to feed that 900 bucks either to Fair. Those shotgun kills are so lucrative. Well, let's see, MBK's just waiting to force them to come to him right at this point. Look at this, he's just waiting. There, spots it, takes the shot, and Fair's already swapped out to the AK, so it's not the end of the world here for MBK.
And I ask this question all the time, but why are they fighting the Deagle? There's no reason to do it. Kenny will get a frag close range there. And Cold coming into it, so still looking decent right now for the Brazilians. Kenny will pick up an AWP though, gets another one. Oh my god, he takes down Taco as well. And now he's got the bomb, he's got the time as well, looking for the shot on Cold, and he is in there. Gonna be going for the bomb plant now behind the box. Spray's not gonna connect, but Kenny, he is so deadly in this position. Goes for the repeat once again. He's looking for it down there, and Cold's gonna be very careful. Flick not gonna connect. Kenny now up on the box, getting an even better angle. Not gonna get the leg shot either, but someone has to get in here and get this defused, and he's got no kit as well. Cold trying to see if he can move a little bit closer, and Kenny flashed for a little bit, but falling back into the side. He's got the triple. He's looking for the quad and the ultimate clutch, and there it is. Kenny picking it up, quad kill in the round, and Envy, they win a round they should have never won.
Yeah, that's the kind of play, though, that your star needs to deliver on. Triple kill for Kenny as soon as he gets that AWP, his weapon of choice, and he's an artist.
This shot.
The prediction, he knows exactly where they're going to be coming from. Man on short, easy shot for Kenny, and then just holds his own, doesn't even get baited out by Cold. Cold trying to do everything that he could there to bait that one-op shot. Kenny, he's not going to miss it when he's given. So, Luminosity again, trying to go for the quick underpass play, and again, it's successful. Fair, he just keeps catching them out here.
Yeah, individually right now, Fair is playing at such a high level. It's wonderful to see. Positional stuff, he's done it top mid and now in underpass twice or almost 3 times, I think. Very good job.
See his name for his gun? Plato Plomo.
Oh yeah, there's some narco stuff in there.
Of course that's from Happy.
Fur and Taco picking up a kill each, but some really good replies here. Close range with the max 7. Happy, you don't want to take this fight. Pellets to the face, Tamla, that's what you get.
Yeah, 900 bucks in his pocket, so he's gonna be pretty happy about that. Gets an AK to boot, so it's just money in the savings account.
You know, the Cartel Scout that hasn't yet made it into the game, it has the Plateau Pomo.
Oh yeah, dude.
Got some stuff in there. MBK all alone right now, and really lots to do here. I mean, if this finishes 10-5, which at this rate there's actually a pretty good chance that it will, I will call that a big success for LG. I think they should be excited about a 10-5 finish.
I think it'll be solid. That'll all come down to the pistol and whether MBK, well, rather Kenny, is going to be able to get that AWP quickly. Kenny gets an AWP, and it costs him big. Like 9-6, 10-5, they could still work out here for Envy as far as their T side is concerned, but Luminosity, they've already done massive work, more than we expected of them, I think, going into this first half of Mirage.
Fur's got 15, 3, and 8 right now. He's 5 kills ahead of anybody else on the scoreboard. Well, MBK is closer, I guess, with 12, but very, very impressive so far from Fur. He's had a monster game.
And Envy going for the quasi-buy, looking for that 15th round. This is the 14th, 1 round before the end, and Fair going aggressive. He's going to walk right into him, and they aren't even prepared. 1 for 1, Fallen trying to hold his own, and it's not going to happen. Kenny with the double kill, wrapping it up, but FNX on stairs. He'll be doing some big damage. He's going to get overwhelmed by Apex, and a third man came in. Luckily enough, he saw that, but then he's happy somehow finds that kill on Cold despite the info. So now it gets a little bit tricky here. Taco in a 1v2, and right through the smoke, he takes out Kenny. Great prediction on his part. And it comes down to whether Happy can get this bomb, get it planted, or find the headshot, and it's not going to be Taco. New member for Luminosity. 2 big kills for him, and an important round on the board for Luminosity. A great save.
And that's going to feel really good, hasn't it? If you're sort of a new pickup and a lot of the community sort of questioning, you know, or FNX, I think everybody knows that he's like pretty good, but this guy Taco, you know, getting a couple of clutches like that in, really, really important, I think, for your confidence. So 9-5 and moving into the 15th round. Good chance here for Luminosity. I mean, Envy, they got the rifles, but not a whole lot else, and Fallen already starting off with a shot on NBK, one of the key players for Envy.
Now, this is the key. Well, the most important thing about this entire CT side is that Luminosity have not been afraid to take duels, to challenge, to get info. And I don't know, it's like Envy don't even know how to handle this at this point. NBK getting picked this time. Last round it was Kiyoshima. They just don't know where Luminosity are going to come from at the beginning of the round. So this time around, Envy are showing a little bit of a presence over on B, but I don't think they've gone B a single time, Anders, apart from the one where NBK went YOLO just a couple of rounds ago. Like a real attempt on B, we haven't really seen it, so Envy trying to at least change it up a little bit, keep Luminosity guessing. Maybe this is finally the round that they're going to try and execute on B.
Molotov into middle, still 50 seconds left here. A lot of jumping going back and forth. Cole with the flashbang in, and it's really good because it's hard for them to follow up on Fallen. He gets the double kill, and actually it's going to be a triple for the round total. Foe with a nice 180 there to take down Happy, and Kenny very much alone, and this time without the AWP, he's going to go down 10-5. For a first half in favor of Luminosity here. The Brazilian team, I would say, coming out with a better half right now. I mean, it's still a very competitive game. It's not like Envy are by any means out of this game, but I think they've got a little bit. And there we go. Nice. Someone brought the Brazilian flag as well. I love it.
This is all going to come down to the individual performance, I think, on Envy's side, though, Anders. I don't think that Happy is going to have that much information to go off of regarding Luminosity. Changing up 2 members on your team for Luminosity as well is going to make you much more unpredictable. It's not going to be the same old style that Happy might have watched in the past. And so this T side now is going to be a bit of a mystery. Envy, it's all going to come down to the headshots at this point for them. They really need to come through individually for the team.
And look at this. Right now, everybody's just going towards this B-bomb side. They've got 3 armors. They've got a smoke and a Molotov here, so definitely some sort of set execute. If they're going to Molotov out Happy, which is a very common thing, MBK is going to be going down. Happy is going to be able to stay here. No grenade just yet. They're going to check the corner, though, and Happy gets the first headshot. He goes down to Fallen. Still a very good trade, and Kenny next in line. Taco now with a double kill, and Fur ready and waiting in case anybody's going to try and get into kitchen here. He's got the Glock out. It's going to be no baguette in this kitchen for the Frenchman. In fact, Apex is going to be going down, and now it's Kiyoshima left alone in a 1 versus 4. Yeah, not this time around.
Just a lead sandwich waiting for him. And a headshot. There it is. Fantastic work. Luminosity now, they're on the fast track to take this map. That just looks so dominant. But again, Envy and pistols, pistol rounds rather, they just don't really seem to be friendly. They don't seem to get along. Second round, they are going to go for the buy, Envy. I want to see Kenny prioritize that AWP, though, and then he is only going to invest the $500. Okay, so he is thinking about getting that AWP as quickly as possible. That is going to be the key here for Envy. Get that man his op, let him go to work. Kenny's shown us already throughout this first half that he's on point, and so he is going to be the linchpin going into it now. If the rest of Envy can't really stand up to this onslaught that's coming out from Luminosity.
And it's, you know, it's 5-7s right here, so pretty lethal buy, I would say, out of Envy. I'm a little bit disappointed. Well, MBK actually gets the kill, but he also had the only flashbang on the team, so if he was with the rest of his team right now, it could be a little bit interesting. They're going to win the fight against Fur as well, and right now, LG have got to be worried. They know what these early kills might mean for a team like Envy. NBK trying to buy more time. He's playing very well at the moment, but Cold will take him out, and that might tip it in favor of LG here.
Yeah, Fallen removing Kenny as well. That was the first man into Kitchen, and now it's a bit of a backstab attempt here coming from Happy at least. He wants to get up into apartments, but if he loses Kiyoshima, this is pointless. It's almost to the point where, yeah, Kyo should just back off and save the gun that he's got. He's got a MAC-10, he's got Smoke, a Kevlar. That could all be useful in the next round. And yeah, Happy isn't even going to show himself. He's just going to wait and see if he can't catch somebody trying to get out of this site. But with Cold already pushing into CT, Luminosity have their exit. They know which way. You get onto a site, you get the bomb plant, you find out where the CTs are coming from, and that's your priority after the bomb plant is not only holding it, but finding where you're going to get out and take the least amount of damage possible. You want to be able to get out and save those guns. And so that was very solid there by Cold, quickly getting into CT, quickly getting the info, and no problem at all for Luminosity. They hold on to the 3 guns, 2 Galils and an AK.
So the initial envy scare that it's always present in those second rounds, they survive it and they do rather well indeed. So right now, I mean, the way this is going, Semler, we could be having sort of one more crucial round for Envy, or it could be like a complete stomp here for LG. They could actually be wrecking Envy on this map.
I want to remind everybody though that Envy are the only team at Cluj who lost the first map in a best of 3 and went on to win the best of 3 twice. This is what Envy do. They lose the first map, and then they crush your soul in the second and third map. So it's not over yet. Luminosity are definitely not out of the doghouse.
That's a beautiful Molotov right into Shadows. Kenny trying to hide inside that smoke still, and there's another member here, and nice shot from Kenny, goes for the second and almost wins it. A lot of damage being dished out here. MBK will go down the aim punch just a little bit too much, and now we've got Happy in the back lines here. He's not gonna try and go for any kind of ninja diffusion. At the back of my mind, I was hoping Semler.
Sparkles?
Probably wouldn't have happened, but still, 13-5 here. That looked 3 rounds.
Looked a little violent there. That hand, that looked like the coach almost grabbed Fallen's thumb. Don't want to be spraining your player's fingers or something, man. Calm down.
He was excited even the pre-match interview. He was. There. He was. You could tell he was ready.
Yeah, they're hyped right now. I think Luminosity have a lot to prove. And I mean, talk about a great start with the new roster. If you could take out Envy, who are the major championship winners, I mean, that would be a massive start here for Luminosity.
Even just winning a map against them, I think. I mean, it's not like this is Envy's best map, and we know that sort of Luminosity made their way onto the scene by beating up a bunch of European teams on Mirage. So it's not a surprise in the map sense, but it's still very cool if they can make this work. Push is coming into the A-bomb side though, and Apex picking up the 1, almost getting a second.
And this is, oh, what is this? The stomp coming in from Keo just lands on top of Taco. Not gonna eat that one. And it's going to be a man advantage here still for Envy. Kenny lashes out and removes Fur from the map, and the rotation now for Luminosity coming in with that bomb. It was just a bit too late. They still have a minute to play with, though, so it's not the end of the world, and we can see them already changing up their angle. But now Envy, 2-on-4, they've got the manpower to just sit on these sites. It's going to be really difficult now for Luminosity to get in, especially when they only have 2 Molotovs to work with, not a single smoke. It's all coming down to the element of surprise now, and this is a good way to try that. Just try and sneak your way in. If only Kenny wasn't already watching. Kenny's like, you come into my territory. Well, it's a little cold.
Oh, that's a nice spray from Fallen, but you're right. Not really much catching Envy off guard. They had pretty much every entrance covered, so not much was going to happen. I think you're right, though. If they had had a smoke, they could have probably thrown it from all the way outside of B towards A, and they could have tried to fake them that way. Molotovs don't really go that far, so kind of hard to fake with a Molotov then.
Yeah, right? You're just hitting here like, oh, yeah. We know. It is a little frustrating sometimes that Molotovs don't go farther, though. That they're pretty much the nade that blows up along with the HE, obviously, after a certain time.
I can't remember who I had this conversation at one point. Someone suggested that you should, I think maybe it actually was Carrigan maybe who said, what if you could like change how long before an HE blows up? So you could do like pretty elaborate HEs. Yeah.
Oh.
You could have like 5, 10, 15 seconds or something. I mean, I don't know what they would do to the game, but it's an interesting idea anyway. Speaking of HEs, a good one being thrown out here, dropping Taco a little bit low, and yeah, MBK alone on the bomb site, so he has to survive.
Yeah, deep flashes, but he's able to fall back fast enough here. This is going to be solid for him. He starts off strong. 1-for-1 trade, could get a second. He drops him down to 6 HP. MBK needs to hang in there, but he's not. Fair is going to be there to shut him down, and Cold takes out the next man in, Happy.
Still a 2 versus 3. Fur almost getting caught there with a grenade in hand, but he actually gets the kill, and now it's down to a 1-on-2, and Kenny, he's solo on health right now, trying to see if he can get through this smoke, but one bullet is going to end it for him. He's got the USP out. He has no idea if they're low or not, and would probably be better at this point. He needs to one-tap either one of them here, and Kenny goes down. Cold with a really good triple kill, and Luminosity, that's a huge round win here. I mean, they are they're just 2 rounds away from doing this, Semler.
Yeah, you can see the frustration evident on Kenny's face. It's because he doesn't have the magic stick anymore, man. See that? You see that? Well, as far as Kenny is concerned, you know, this is end days time. I mean, NBK goes for his scout. He's probably going to be holding, jumping around below the balcony over on the B site, but the rest of them, it's just a force buy with pistols. Luminosity, they're 2 rounds away from picking up this first map and a fantastic start in the best of 3. And they are not going to throw it away either. Very calm approach from them. There was a man up in Palace. It sounds like Apex heard the steps from Taco, but Taco's only got an MP7. He doesn't care if he dies. It's not like he's going to give up the rifle.
Definitely very impressed right now by the resilience of the Luminosity team. I mean, they've had a couple of scares so far where Envy's been really close to sort of the classic Envy stuff there, but they've come out on top anyway and clutched some pretty big rounds. Though Kenny going to be picking up a shot there on Fallen. Smoke's going to clear on Kenny. Oh, well, he actually somehow gets out. That should have been instant death there.
Right, and where was the follow-up? Now Kenny's actually going to walk right into Farah, who snuck his way into jungle. And there's Taco spotting out the man going for the flank. That's Kiyoshima now. He's lost the element of surprise. He might be able to get in here quick enough if Fair loses, if he's keeping his attention on the site, but takes a first glance, says, I don't see anybody, waits for the backstab and gets the job done. Well played there by Taco, keeping his cool in that situation. That also guards the bomb carrier who's going to be making his way up onto the site, but Apex is going to find another kill. This is way too close, Anders.
Yeah, it really is. Got to be a little bit careful here. They've got armor as well. Nice spray from Cold following him, shooting him through the wall as well. FNX picking up the 1 kill, and that's Cold coming into it. Of course it is, with a double kill and taking the round. 15-6, it's map point right now in favor of Luminosity. We've got Fur on 25 kills, but pretty much everybody on LG is functioning really well, whereas we've got to say on the Envy side, Apex and Kiyoshima right now are 9 and 5 kills. And maybe especially Kiyoshima dropping a little bit too low on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, non-existent. Whereas, yeah, everybody is pretty much pulling their weight over on Luminosity. It's only FNX who's really trailing, but then, you know, he's in double digits, so that's not a problem. Envy just can't seem to get their heads in the game. But again, it's just like the Envy curse, losing the first map in a best-of-3 series. They do it all the time, and Apex just lost his life in Pit. It's gonna be, whoa, a great headshot from Keo. Great flash follow-up, but he can't repeat the process. He's not gonna get that second kill. Instead, he's gonna have to go for the tap, and he's not gonna get it done. Fallen there to remove him. Cold, though, getting caught in a crossfire and connector, getting sandwiched in, but Luminosity, they're still in position to press their way onto this site.
3 vs 3 here, and all the equipment favoring the Brazilian team. It's going to be all up to Happy to try and stop what's coming next here, and they've got so much time. They could actually fall back. They don't really have to fight Happy here, but they do kind of line up for him for the smoke. Why is this happening? Both players very, very low on health here. Fallen gonna go for the bomb plant behind the crate, goes for the peek out. He knows they're Happy somewhere back there, but he's not quite sure. Fallen spraying blindly through, and they're both doing the same. Nobody hitting the shots. Happy up here. Hay goes down, and it's gonna be Luminosity. 16-6 in favor of LG. The Brazilian team just coming out way ahead here.
Wow.
What a match.
And a 1v1 clutch as well versus Happy, who's usually the anchor for Envy. What a play from Luminosity. Fantastic first map for them. They totally deserve this win. And now this is, I mean, they're just going to be so confident going into the next map, Anders. They're so hyped right now. Now it's about taking that break, though. It's not won yet. They have to take that break, come back into it, you know, go outside, cool off a little bit. It is cold in Sweden, right? You know, just, you know, okay, you know, deep breaths, refresh yourself, go into that second map level-headed because it's not over yet. Envy are definitely able to bring, you know, they're capable of bringing it back.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the statistics for losing the first map and then winning the whole series are pretty low, right? Normally, if you lose the first map,
85%. All right, this is fun across all the majors, apparently. It's if you lose the first map in a best-of-3, 85% chance that the team that wins the first map is just going to win the whole thing. And we're the only team, really, in recent history that have, like, broken that. They lose the first map, and then they crush you on the next 2.
Yeah.
So, but you know, they're looking pretty beat up right now. And
I think the story is, if you are an Envy fan, you shouldn't be despairing just yet. They've got a lot to show, obviously.
I haven't, Anders.
You're not. You're still there. Well, we are going to be going to the second map, but not before we go to a commercial break, so stay with us, and we'll be right back.